When you tell a really good engaging story on your channel, you will get more watch time, more engagement, more views. But what if you just don't feel like you have a good engaging story to tell? Today, Jeff is a storytelling expert, and he's gonna show you guys how you can pull something amazing out of something that might feel boring. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer and welcome to Video Creators. This channel is all about helping you grow your YouTube audience so you can spread a message that reaches people and changes their lives. And story is one of the best ways that you can do that. Jeff, you do storytelling for a living. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I got into video production in high school. I went to a high school of 200 people. I was the only one who cared at all about that kind of stuff, so I ended up shooting and editing and putting it all together, and now that's what I actually do for a living. In Los Angeles, I'm a full-time television editor, and I've worked for companies like ABC and NBC and Disney and Universal and Apple, and it's a really cool thing. And the great thing is, I get to tell stories all the time. It's amazing.
And it connects pretty well to YouTube because you take like unscripted content and you got to find the story in it and craft it together, just like a lot of like you vloggers are doing. For example, Elle with Food wrote and asked this. Problem is, I feel like I don't have many interesting stories to tell, or even how to fit them into my types of videos. I know a lot of people do similar videos, tell stories, but I feel like I have nothing. Jeff, what advice would you have for Elle and other creators who feel like they just don't have a story to tell?
Well, the good news is you have a story. You are a story. We're all living a story. That's literally how our life unfolds. Like, we start at the beginning and we go through our life and it comes to an end. That's some point. So the good news is we all have a story. And the challenge comes, is like, how do you communicate that story really well? And the way to do that is consider the framework of what a story is. So Tim's been talking a lot about story and how important it is. And there's a framework that we both consider when we're talking about a story. It's like, the story is, by definition, where a character wants something, overcomes obstacles to get it, and ends up transformed as a result. So you have a character who wants something, there's stuff that's keeping them from getting it, and then when they get to the end, whether they get what they want or not, there's always a change. And that's the essence of any good story. So like, when we're thinking about our own lives, who are we? What do we want? And what's standing in our way? That's the place to start. One
of the ways that I do this practically is, rather than like sitting down and like, let's just talk about something, or let's just vlog our life because our lives are awesome or something.
I'm amazing, look at me.
You should all look at me. Like, I want to think about like, how do I craft this vlog, for example, as a story? Casey Neistat talks about this a lot. And it's like, I just look at my day, I'm like, what's the character want? What do I need to overcome to get it, or my week, whatever the case may be, and then like, and how has it changed me? And I just simply think through that process before I even start shooting. How am I going to tell the story? What am I going to say? What are the shots I need to get? So I don't film all day and then end up with like a ton of footage. And then I'm like, how do I piece this together to make something interesting where I'm not just giving like short video status updates about my day? And you get bonus points if the story actually has meaning for the audience that's watching it. So it's not really just about your story, but it's about how your story connects to someone else's story.
Then the other element that you can add to that is, once you have the idea of what character is and what the obstacles are, think about what we call the story arc. Think about where you begin, what's the middle, and where you end up. So it's really the most simple story structure. It's like the 3-act structure that can get so crazy complex with movies and such. But really all it is, it's beginning, middle, and end. Where do you start, where's the middle, and where's the end? As long as you show a progression, a change, that's what people want to see, that's what people resonate with.
On YouTube, a great way to do this is just think like, every video needs to have a self-contained story arc. Character wants something, overcomes conflict, transformed. And then think about like, what's the season of life though? So what's the bigger story arc? I guess people will go from one video to the next and want to subscribe to see what happens next. That would be like a season of life story arc. So, you know, like for us, like my wife's pregnant. That's the 9-month story arc.
Yep.
Like, what are they going to do now that they have 7? It's going to be baby number 7. How are they going to respond to that? What are they changes? Like, well, there's tons of conflict in that story. Let me tell you. And then what's the resolution? How are they different now that this baby's born? What's different about their family?
And what you're just describing, it's the exact same thing that we do when we're talking about a season arc within a whole season of television. So much of what happens is you are asking questions, And in any given episode, you're answering them, but you're always asking more. So the more questions you ask, the longer that hooks people into keeping watching. So with your daughter who was born blind in one eye, it's like, that's a huge question that you do not have answers for.
It's another season of life story arc.
And it's one of those things where you keep, do you need another surgery? Yes or no. And then how is she going to react to the surgery? It's like, so you keep asking those questions, and next thing you know, you have a progression over multiple episodes.
One of the questions that I start by asking, just to make this simple for me, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, maybe I'd like to hear what you think about this, is I usually start with a point of conflict. Like, what is it that the character wants? And then I try to figure out the story and then the transformation and all that kind of around that. Is that kind of a good way? Like, if someone has a boring story, is that where they should start?
That's the great place.
Story.
That's the place to start. And the thing is, that is one of the first questions that a screenwriter asks.
One of the things I've been experiencing the more I try to tell stories is just how hard it is. I did not expect that. So I'm really thankful for channels like Story Greenlight, which is Jeff's channel, where he just teaches you guys how to craft engaging stories from your content. Link to that down below. We also have a short playlist you can click on right here to learn more from Jeff about how to find really epic stories and really ordinary content. So subscribe here to this channel, check out that playlist, and we'll see you guys over in those next videos.